Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, it's Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. We'll be talking to the author of this best-selling book. It's called The Winning Mindset That Saved My Life. His journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm learning a lot about this. I mean, people have heard of it, but they're not familiar with it. And if you put off a checkup or two, especially if you're over 50, it could be fatal. Somebody who knows that very well is my next guest, Tom Hulsey. He's the author of The Winning Mindset That Saved My Life. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to learn more about your background, but you were in the peak of health. I mean, to the outside world, running Ironman competition, 5% body fat, eating right, exercising, and then you got a diagnosis. What was the day that you got the diagnosis?
It was on my birthday in 2015. I heard the words you never want to hear, and that is, you have prostate cancer.
Okay, tell us about prostate cancer. It's probably more common than most people know.
Yes, to put it in perspective, 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime, and for African American men, it's actually 1 in 6, and for veterans, it's 1 in 5. And to put those numbers in perspective, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime.
Wow, that's incredible. And you admit that when you were first diagnosed, you didn't want anybody to know.
That is correct. I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, I was humiliated, and as you said, I was in peak physical health, and I was ashamed, and I kept it all inside. Besides the fact that men don't want to talk about it, and because it's below the belt, it's very personal, and but I have really changed my mindset now and really trying to help others.
Absolutely. We found a great piece done by CBS 11 a few years ago. Let's go ahead and roll the piece.
Wednesday's Warriors this week. This story is interesting. It is 3 decades in the making. The story ends when I met this North Texas man at the Ironman World Championship in Hawaii just a few weeks ago. But the story begins in that very same state 30 years ago.
1986, Tom Hulsey competed at the Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii. His office tells the story of many races since, but it's the race his good friend Bill Rawlings lost in 2013 that stopped him in his tracks.
It was devastating to lose one of my best friends and to witness what he had gone through.
Prostate cancer. Tom watched his good friend slip away from a disease that takes a man's life every 19 minutes. Then, a few months after Bill died,
I found out on my birthday in February of 2015 that I had prostate cancer.
the body that had carried him thousands of miles in competition now needed robotic surgery, 7 incisions, and a heavy dose of humility.
When I came out, I was getting around in a walker and wearing 2 catheters.
As Tom fought his cancer, he set 2 goals to light his fire for recovery.
And my long-term goal was to do Ironman Lake Placid in July of this year. And my other goal in July of this year was to be able to walk my daughter down the aisle.
After a year-long fight, Tom finished Lake Placid, but more importantly, he took that walk with his daughter. Then came the surprise of a lifetime, an invitation back to the Ironman World Championship, this time representing Zero, the fight against prostate cancer.
You are an Ironman, Tom. Way to get her done.
Tom Hulsey, finisher, cancer fighter, and friend to the end.
bookending that, Kona, 1986 and 2016. Tom, by the way, still raising money for Zero, the fight against prostate cancer. We're going to have a link to his page with this story, so you can go donate if you'd like to. Just head to cbsdfw.com. You can search Wednesday's Warriors. And according to the American Cancer Society, prostate cancer screenings for men, let's talk about it, guys, should begin no later than age 50, could be as early as 40, depending on things in your life. So you need to ask your doctor if you need to get screened. Don't be embarrassed about it. And don't forget, if you or somebody you know is beating the odds or helping others do the same, we want to hear about these stories. Send me an email, WednesdaysWarriors@cbs.com.
I'm so glad you said that, because so often people don't talk about it because they do think it's embarrassing, and we could save lives here.
Tom's a perfect example. He admitted he didn't want anybody to know about it. He was embarrassed by it. It's, you know, with him, it didn't sit well. Dude's got to talk about it.
Absolutely, and we're so happy this story is out there.
Wow, such a powerful story. Tell us more about your friend that you lost.
Well, Bill was a dear friend of mine. We used to ride bikes together. We trained together, and he actually was diagnosed and fought it for 4 years. He went through the standard care of treatment, clinical trials, and all, but his had spread beyond his prostate, so he ultimately succumbed to it. And his widow today will tell you that getting his annual checkup was what ultimately killed him.
Wow. This is the second edition of your best-selling book, The Winning Mindset That Saved My Life. We're going to put up a full-screen graphic so you can take a look at this. Tell us one of the takeaways from the book.
One of the takeaways is, it's in the title. It's all about having the right mindset. And this goes, you have to have the right mindset for anything in your life. And initially, I had that fixed mindset where I was, woe is me, and I did not want to fight it. I didn't want to go through what Bill and his family went through. But I changed my mindset to a growth mindset, or a winning mindset, if you will. And that's helped me so much in overcoming some of the different health battles I've had. You mentioned the Ironman, and the Ironman has been has given me so many traits that have been with me today. And that's, overcoming adversity, and just, overcoming, some of the challenges in life, because an Ironman is a long day and it has lots of ups and downs, and how you deal with that adversity is really what defines you, and it really helps, and the book will help people overcome whatever the challenge that they may have in their life.
Tom, you got a huge proclamation. Go ahead and hold that up and tell people what it's all about.
Before the 2022, the state of Texas had not recognized that September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Well, over the last 3 years, Governor Abbott has written a proclamation declaring that Prostate Cancer Awareness Month in Texas. And I'd just like to highlight a couple of sentences from one of its proclamations. Although the disease is misunderstood and infrequently discussed, its impact is, alas, far-reaching. Its incidence is comparable to that of breast cancer, but there is indeed an enormous disparity in terms of public awareness. Public campaigns for prostate cancer awareness are far fewer.
That's incredible. Well, congratulations on everything you're doing. We also have a couple of pictures we want to share. One is with Dr. Kenneth Cooper, the father of aerobics, and he wrote the foreword to your book. Talk about your relationship with Dr. Cooper.
Well, I initially met Dr. Cooper during the pandemic, actually, when my wife and I joined the Cooper Aerobics Center, and since then I've developed a relationship with Dr. Cooper, and I'm so honored that he has come into my life. As I told him, it's really come full circle for me, because my dad got into jogging in the 60s because of his book Aerobics. And I always tell people that we're all active today because of Dr. Cooper, and it's such an honor to have a relationship with this man.
Absolutely. We have another picture we want to share, because you got a high honor. Why don't you share what that honor was?
This was with Success North Dallas. I've been a member of Success North Dallas for a number of years, and this is I was the second recipient of the Jan Klaudner Service Above Self Award in 2023. And I was so honored to be given this award by Jan himself. And very, very proud to have this recognition.
Outstanding. In the last minute or so, I want you to look right into that camera on the left and talk to the man above 50 on why this is serious, that you got to get checked.
The reason you have to get checked is as with most cancers, if it's caught early, the chances of survival are much greater. The challenge is that men are embarrassed by it and they don't want to get checked, but the PSA is a simple blood test. Simply put, it saves lives. And I owe these past 9 years of my life to early detection. If prostate cancer is detected in a later stage, the chances of survival and the treatment options definitely dwindle. And so that's why it's so important to get that annual PSA check. And especially if you have a family history of it and or you're African American.
Outstanding. Tom, thank you so much for your courage coming forward with your story. We're going to end with his website, which is tomhulsey.com, the great Tom Hulsey. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.